Alice Jenkins had always considered her family to be rather dull and unremarkable. So imagine her surprise when she received a letter informing her that she had inherited a run-down mansion from a mysterious relative named Alexander Jenkins. Alice had never heard of this Alexander Jenkins, but after verifying the legitimacy of the inheritance, she decided to explore her newly acquired mansion. Upon her arrival, Alice was struck by the majestic beauty of the mansion. The estate had clearly seen better days and was in need of some tender, loving care. Regardless of its current state, the mansion had a charm that charmed Alice. It was when she was taking inventory of the property that she discovered a hidden room. The room was concealed behind a bookcase, and Alice had to tug on it hard to open it. When she stepped into the room, she couldn't believe her eyes. The room appeared untouched for years and was filled with dusty old furniture and artifacts. From the looks of it, it appeared to be a study, complete with a fireplace, a writing desk, and a bookshelf. Alice started to explore the room, curious about what secrets it could hold. As she rummaged through the desk, she found a letter, a long-ago unsolved murder, and the beginning of a mystery that would consume her for the weeks to come. The letter was written by Alexander Jenkins, the same relative who had left her the mansion. In the letter, Alexander described how a murder had occurred inside the mansion, and despite all efforts from the authorities, it had gone unsolved. As Alice read on, she learned that the murder had involved one of her family members. However, Alexander had refused to name the culprit, insisting that the truth would eventually come out. But Alexander had died before he could reveal any more information. Alice was intrigued by the letter and spent the next several weeks poring over every detail, determined to find out what had happened. She scoured the mansion, looking for any hidden clues to the mystery, while also digging into the history of her family. As she pieced the clues together, Alice started to realize that the murder might have been committed by one of her own family members. She couldn't believe it. How could someone in her family have committed such a heinous act? The clues led Alice to a locked cedar chest in the basement of the mansion. When she finally managed to get the chest open, she found a diary that belonged to Alexander. As Alice read the journal, she came across shocking information: the identity of the murderer. It was somebody who Alice had known all her life, her own grandfather. He had killed a hired help over a petty argument, and Alexander had been unable to publicly accuse him of the murder. Over the years, Alexander had tried to gather evidence against him, but it had all been circumstantial. Alice felt both angry and sad as the painful truth sank in. Her family had been keeping this dark secret for decades. Alice knew that she had to confront her grandfather, but she didn't know how to approach him. Should she confront him directly, or should she gather more evidence before doing so? Days went by, and Alice couldn't sleep or eat properly. Unresolved questions raced through her mind. Was her grandfather still capable of murder, and would reporting him to the authorities destroy her family? Alice had always thought of her family as unremarkable, but now she realized that they were more complicated and dangerous than she had ever imagined. Alice ultimately decided that she would go to the authorities and report her grandfather's crime. It would be hard, and she would lose some family members in the process, but it had to be done. As the weeks passed, news of the murder broke out, and the authorities came for Alice's grandfather. Alice felt relieved that the truth was out and that justice was being served, but she couldn't help feeling sad for her family. The mansion had been a place of happy memories for her, and now it had become a symbol of darkness and tragedy. In the end, Alice came to realize that every family had its secrets, some more dangerous than others, but she also recognized that revealing these secrets could sometimes lead to healing and redemption. With time and a lot of work, Alice found that even the darkest moments in life could eventually be overcome, and that was what inspired her moving forward.